What is up, my friends, and welcome to another edition of the XFL Week In Review, one of the longest running XFL podcasts of all times, episode 214. Today, we dive into the groundbreaking XFL-USFL merger talks. NBC is stepping away. Looks like ESPN, ABC, and Fox are taking the broadcast helm, plus an exclusive on the return of Fan Control Football for its third season. Very excited about that in the summer of 2024. Plus, we have a stay tuned for the end of the show. We got a quick roundup on the latest XFL news and notes, plus our question of the week. Should they or shouldn't they keep the XFL or USFL names? We want your reaction this week. We have all that and more. We'll be answering your emails as well. So let's get started.
Welcome to the XFL Week in Review with your host, Mark Perry.
All right, my friends, NBC has stepped away from the broadcasting of this merged league. So NBC will not be part of the broadcast team for this new XFL-USFL merged league scheduled due to scheduling conflicts. The new broadcast partners will be ESPN, ABC, Fox, and FS1. Will share the broadcasting duties. And of course, we know that the merger officially cleared last week and the kickoff is set for March 30th. And we are basically 113 days as of this recording that the season will start. So we did get some trickling things out where we thought maybe things would be very quiet. John Orend of Sports Business Journal basically said that NBC was stepping away. He's got a quote from Greg Hughes, the NBC Sports EVP and Communication. We enjoyed our relationship with the USFL and Fox, but the new earlier schedule made it impossible for us to continue. We wish them success with the new league and their new partners. So there you have it. NBC is out officially. So spring football, take note. As Ben Fisher had pointed out that, of course, because of the conflicts with the March 30th date. Basically, what NBC's issue boils down to golf events. There's a lot of golf News Nation, by the way, our other site. So they have existing commitments for golf, and golf brings in more ratings than any kind of football leagues. So that's probably why they just kind of want it out. So in the wake of that, it'll be ESPN and ABC, which we wanted the leagues initially early on, wanted to make sure that they had all their games over terrestrial television and not on cable. But it looks like now that NBC is out of the game because of now we know when the schedule is, that they are going to be out. So now you need ESPN and you need FS1. So they'll be part of that. So that is not the greatest thing, but at least we have ABC and Fox versus just having ABC. So as long as ABC and Fox every week can have games on, even if you want to have the bulk of the games on, that would be great. We'll just have to kind of see how this kind of works itself out. Also, fans were saying, well, what about if NBC put it on Peacock or USA? But clearly that just wasn't the case, that they didn't want to get those low ratings like they did by putting on those networks. So they were kind of like, hey, we're out. So basically this brings us back to the XFL in 2020, where it was ESPN, ABC, and Fox running the broadcast show, which was highly successful. The merger partnership, there was definitely factors, including golf, but also the new deal with NASCAR and likely addition of NBA games to NBC's schedule have kind of reshaped how the broadcasting world would work for spring football. As the Year Insiders said, we'll have a quiet December with some significant updates maybe come in January, though our own Mike Mitchell reported on the XFL Insider podcast, I believe, that we could be hearing some news next week. I'm also kind of hearing that we could get some news next week as well before we head into the Christmas season. So stay tuned for that. As things are getting finalized, we could be hearing more, but we should be getting more of these trickling news, if not even some big news next week. As everything kind of gets finalized and we find out, is the XFL going to be the XFL? Is it going to be called the USFL? And where we're going from here, because time is running out. We're already in December. There's 113 days from kickoff. So even if you fast forward to next week, that's 110 days to get things rocking and rolling. Everybody's in a waiting pattern. We do know that NBC has stepped away, so that is a big piece of the puzzle. So we'll see what happens next. So let us know what you think in the comments. So we broke an exclusive story here on XFL News Hub. Fan Control Football, our beloved Fan Control Football, which I was a member of Team Aoki, is returning for season 2 in the summer of 2024. We have the full details here. So the XFL News Hub learned that FCF is set for a summer 2024 comeback with formal announcements expected in Q1 of 2024. Here are some interesting tidbits. So expansion and innovation is kind of part of the new deal. The league, managed by Fan Control Sports and Entertainment, plans for a multi-city format with 6 to 8 teams for 2024, aiming for 20 teams in 5 years. So that is the plan. Innovations in other sports for like Fan Control racing at NASCAR are also underway. We heard that that was very successful, and NASCAR was super excited about the Fan Control racing that they had. Also, Star Power, there's speculation about involvement of former NFL players and celebrities in the league, although specifics, including the participation of Terrell Owens and Johnny Manziel, are yet to be confirmed. Manziel really didn't even play, even though his team won the championship. So they are back. So we'll hear first quarter. The league is managed now by Fan Control Sports and Entertainment, and they're kind of in charge of its operation and marketing strategy, league office, technological stuff, revenue. FCF 2.0 was run by Fan Control Football. So you see now everything is Fan Control Sports and Entertainment. They paused in 2023. Financial stuff. There was talk that the crypto game and all those other things. So they kind of needed to recalibrate. There was talk of doing Fan Control Hoops, and there was tryouts for that, but then they just couldn't get what they needed. But now apparently the groundwork is in order, including adding the multi-city league formats. We'll see what that means. Maybe rather than having teams just with team names, that they'll actually have cities associated with them. This new structure will involve local ownership groups and celebrities, bringing something new to the team management and fan engagement. Maybe that was a way to connect with fans, with the teams more. Of course, we talked about 6 to 8 teams are laying the groundwork, but they want 20 teams. Remember, this is not a ton of players or a ton of football, because this is kind of this indoor hybrid thing. So you don't need 60 players per team. There's still details on the wrap, such as whether Atlanta will remain in the league's hub. Remember, they built that facility. Really cool. Was super excited in 2023 to head out to Atlanta to go check it out. So we don't know what's going on with that facility. We don't know about player tryouts or broadcast partners in 2022. NBC LX is where I watched a lot of it. Dan's The Zone or whatever it is. Twitch and Peacock broadcast every games. Don't remember seeing it on Peacock, though. Well, there's no confirmation yet, but we did hear that they're looking at, there's definitely some high-profile football players that could, former football players that could be part of the league. Of course, Fan Control Football, they had a lot of players jump ship up to the XFL. DeAndre Francois, Andrew Jamil, Patrick Smith, Mike Lee. We have a bunch of names here. Tommy Auger. Some of these guys made the final rosters. Some didn't. Some were backups. But there are some guys. Mitch Kidd was hoping that he would make it, but he did not make it to the league. So there was a lot of guys in Fan Control Football that made the jump to the XFL. Also, the biggest name was Quantez Stiggers, who played in the Canadian Football League. Remember, this was a guy who didn't even have any college or, I believe, high school or college experience. But in 2023, Stiggers was named the CFL's most outstanding rookie, and there's talk about him jumping on to a NFL team. Like, he played that well. So, and he's a young guy too. So Quantez got his start in Fan Control Football, made his way to the CFL, and it looks like possibly he could be making his way to the NFL real soon. So FCSE, which is Fan Control Sports and Entertainment, is not just about football. Of course, they had their NASCAR's championship race in Phoenix in November. They had a Fan Control Racing, and that was kind of the beta test. and could pave the way for stuff, including we're hearing golf and basketball in the mix in the future there. So if you are a fan, we'll talk about Fan Control Football. We've had people on from Fan Control Football on the podcast. We will as the summer gets closer, but it could be very exciting football season as we have the XFL-USFL thing going on. And then we transition to the CFL. And then over the summer, we've got Indoor Football League and Fan Control Football League. I thoroughly enjoyed Fan Control Football League, and we'll be talking about that. And of course, the Indoor Football League as well on this show. Once we figure out what this league name is and everything going forward, we have a lot of interesting things coming in 2024 for your pals at XFL News Hub. So stay tuned for that. But I'm super excited. You should be too. I was worried that Fan Control Football would go away, but now it's returning in the summer of 2024. And we'll be covering a lot here on XFL News Hub. So stay tuned for that. Are you a fan of the XFL, USFL, and CFL football? Get ready to embrace your inner general manager with NewsHubFantasy.com's fantasy football experience. NewsHubFantasy.com offers you an unparalleled fantasy football platform bringing together fans of the XFL, USFL, and CFL football leagues. Compete in season-long fantasy with leagues up to 6 players. You can create your own for friends, or you can join an existing league. Draft your ideal team with our 7 active roster spots, including a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, flex, tight end, kicker, plus 3 bench spots. Show off your football knowledge and strategy and dominate your league. Our user-friendly interface makes it easy to manage with your team and get the latest news in your XFL or USFL or CFL leagues on the go. Plus, News Hub Fantasy offers mock drafts, pick'em games, and so much more all season long. So don't miss out on the action. Sign up now at newshubfantasy.com and become the ultimate football fantasy manager. All right, let's get into some news and notes as we wrap up the show. So DC Defenders are having a season ticket give back. So each season ticket bought in December, a ticket is donated to the community ticket program starting at just $115. You can enjoy 5 home games at only $23 per game. They have additional perks, team events, all this kind of stuff. Again, we need to basically have some kind of announcement soon so that the teams can activate their local events so they can start generating buzz. One thing that was noted in the press release is the DC Defenders have sold 3,500 season tickets already, and that is way more than they did last year. So it's pretty exciting that they're already at this level. You know, we've got the new thing going on in San Antonio with the something club. I can't remember. Starts with an L, I believe. That they added. Arlington's got their thing. St. Louis has got their thing. DC is doing their thing as well. So it's exciting to see these initiatives come past. I believe there's also Memphis or USFL. Michigan Panthers are having some kind of event too. So really affordable if you're in the area, especially if you're in the DC area. Come hang out. You'll hang out with me and the crew. We got a lot of awesome people that hang out before the games, and we've got a great community of fans here in DC. So come hang out with me, hang out with my wife. I won't bring my dog, but we've got all sorts of characters and good people coming out to DC Defenders events. So definitely, if you want to be part of the club, become a season ticket holder, and there you have that. Also, finally, XFL co-owner Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he talked about the XFL merger in a video recently posted out, talking about the life comes full circle moment for me as XFL owner. And I just wanted to point out one little thing. The wording of his post might suggest that the XFL name will remain post-merger, despite some speculation about the possible change of UFL, which I have not heard that anywhere. That basically it's, Russ Brandis is in charge. All the Redbird Capital money is there. It's just Fox is kind of one of the board members of this, and the rest are all XFL people. So why would they change their name? It makes no sense. I mean, you definitely, I don't know, do something creative, but $150 in 10 days before kickoff, you're going to change the whole brand and rebrand the whole thing. It just doesn't make any sense. So his reference to our 2024 season following a mention of the 2023 season maybe implies continuity in the branding. I'm just reading into it, but you look for it yourself. That's The Rock's Instagram post. Seattle Sea Dragons, Ben DiNucci made a comeback, so he's part of, now activated by the Denver Broncos. We've got 3 new guys coming, well, not new guys, making their way. Hakeem Butler signs a letter of intent to come back to the St. Louis Battlehawks, so that's cool there. Plus, Tobias Taylor, Notre Dame College, the D2 guy, coming to the DC Defenders, and Garrett McGinn will be his second stint also with the Arlington Renegades. Dany Garcia had a thing talking about her drive and Dany Garcia's visionary drive, and Inc. magazine talked a lot about her personal growth. We all know her backstory, but also mentioned that the XFL was approved merger with the USFL and the kickoff date in 2024. That was kind of part of that. So if you want to read just kind of about her background and what makes her tick, that was pretty cool to see her. And again, she's holding the football. So the idea, and I was worried, I thought Redbird was out, I thought Dany was out, and I thought The Rock was out, and I thought Fox was just going to kind of take over the XFL. It's looking like it is the opposite, where the USFL is coming to merge in with the XFL, and then we're off to the races, especially now that NBC is out of the picture. Makes me kind of think that they're going to keep the XFL name. That is my hope. We want to hear your thoughts on that, but that's my hope there. And also, former Battlehawks Kenny Robinson is returning to whatever this league is. He's joining the Birmingham Stallions, which was pretty cool. At least he got his opportunity in the NFL, and now he's going to join the Birmingham Stallions to try to make his way back to the league. And also, this kind of came out. Gary Jennings from the Battlehawks is now signed with the Birmingham Stallions after a stint with the Carolina Panthers after the XFL season. But Anthony Beck, the coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks, is like, wait, so other teams can poach my players? What's up, Skip Holtz? What are you doing? So that was kind of something that was interesting. Again, this is why things need to be hashed out, because why is he going to the Birmingham Stallions if he was already part of, he should be going back to the St. Louis Battlehawks? I don't know. Clearly, there's this kind of, all these things are amiss. So anyway, that's what's kind of going on this week. John checks in. He says, hey, man, awesome show. Was wondering if you do a show on your top 5 games of the XFL. They could be from any season, 2001, 2020, 2023. I mean, there were 2021, I don't know of any, maybe just a championship game. 2020, I mean, there were some good games. I'm thinking LA Wildcats game in particular. That was just before COVID shut things down. I remember also the Seattle Dragons with that crazy finish. That was like where the referee was like, they should have called it, and that was kind of a crazy game. And then we've had, of course, the championship game wasn't that great, but man, we've had some great DC Defenders games. Come in particular, St. Louis Battlehawks to get the return to the Dome. That was a great game. I mean, so that awesome comeback from now on the Cincinnati Bengals, AJ McCarron. Those were good games as well. All right, my friends, that's it for this week's show. Question of the week. I want to hear from you starting now. Email me, podcast@XFL News Hub. We'll have stuff on social media, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram. We want to leave your thoughts. Should the XFL USFL merger, should they keep the XFL or USFL name, or do you think they should use something new? Let us know. Let them know. We'll be having that out, and we'll take a look at those your thoughts on that, and let us know, and send us an email, podcast@XFL News Hub, and leave your comments as well. XFL, USFL, should they just keep one of those names? I think just keep the XFL and let's go. Why the whole rebranding something new would just be such a waste of time with 110 days before kickoff. Is just, to me, is just not a good idea. People are familiar with the XFL and The Rock. They're also familiar with the USFL. Pick one and go with it. I don't care which one it is. I prefer the XFL just because our site has been a lot a lot older than our USFL one, but you get the drift. All right, my friends, that's it from me, folks. As always, God bless. Stay tuned. I think we might be getting some stuff next week, and I will see you all later.